This week with the Texans, nothing major is really going on. Like, there is no huge storyline, but there is some small little topics coming out of training camp that I do kind of want to talk about, address, and give my opinion on. Now, this week, nothing major happened, like I said. Pretty much the same thing that happened last week is happening this week. Good competition besides yesterday. Apparently, the offense as a whole struggled, but that's not a big deal. Whatever. There's days like that. There will be days where the defense struggles too. I'm not really worried about that. And this weekend the Texans travel to Green Bay to have joint practices with the Packers. I believe the joint practices are on Monday and Tuesday, if I remember correctly, and I can't wait for those because whenever there's joint practices, I get to, read up on some articles from Green Bay and see how the Texans did from their perspective, So, can't wait for that. Also, the Texans' first preseason game is in less than a week. How crazy is that? Yesterday I was watching the Hall of Fame game, and Jesus Christ, preseason football is boring. But it's whatever. I mean, we still get to watch Texans football, even though Deshaun Watson and the starters are probably only going to be in there for like one or two drives. But it's still Texans football. We get to watch young players and stuff. But alright, anyways, let's get into the little topics I kind of wanted to talk about coming out of training camp this week. And the first one is Jonathan Joseph getting a pay raise. For whatever reason, there was some people that were pissed about Jonathan Joseph getting a pay raise. I mean, the guy only got a 1.5 mil pay raise. That's not going to make a difference. This is not going to stop us from re-signing Clowney. This is not going to stop us from signing John Weeks to a super ultra mega max deal. The amount that Joseph got is, insignificant to the team, to the cap space, but to Joseph, it means a lot. You're keeping one of your veteran players happy, and personally, I'm okay with that because Jonathan Joseph is one of my favorite Texans players. I mean, this guy has been with us since 2011. When J. Joe came here, he just completely switched the secondary. Secondary went from being hot garbage to good, and now it's hot garbage again. And, honestly, he might be part of the reason why, but, I don't care. I mean, if Andre Johnson was washed up and we would have done the same thing, I would have been okay with it. If we would have done it with Dwayne Brown, I would have been okay with it. If we would have done it with Arian Foster, I would have been okay with it. If we would have done it with, or if we do it with J.J. Watt in the future, I'll be okay with it, because that's just the type of players that they are. You gotta show that you appreciate them. It's kind of like the Cardinals and Larry Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald, he's not the guy he used to be. They can probably get younger and better than Larry Fitzgerald. But, they're going to keep Larry Fitzgerald on their team. They want Fitzgerald to retire with them. And honestly, I want Jonathan Joseph to retire with us. And then, after he's done playing, hopefully come back and be a DB coach for us. Because Joseph, despite him being old and slow, he still has the mental aspect of the game down. He still has, his great technique. He could teach that, pass it down to younger corners, and I think J.J. would make a great coach. So that's kind of what the Texans are doing, just kind of showing respect to one of their veteran, long-time players. And, hopefully one day J.J. ends up on the Texans Ring of Honor. But, I will say this, hopefully this is J.J.'s last year because, I don't think we could do another year of J.J., man. The dude gets burnt. But you still got to show him some respect because, he's been here forever. he's done nothing but good things for your team. You know, like, if you tell JJ, no, I won't give you a pay raise, stupid. If you tell him that, you know how messed up that would be? Not only that, JJ would then, probably say something about it. And how do you think outside free agents would feel? Like, JJ's been there for almost 10 years, and the Texans treat him like that. Do I really want to go there to Houston? So it's just the Texans taking care of their players. That's good in my opinion. So no need to get mad about that little small move. It's just to make JJ happy. Now, something else that came out yesterday from Pat D. Stat. Shout out to Pat D. Stat. He's one of the few Texans, reporters out there that really keeps it real and doesn't sugarcoat anything. He just gives it to you straight. He said that the O-line really struggled on Thursday, August 1st. Mostly the right side. He also said that Shantro Henderson has really been struggling all camp. So yes, there is O-line issues again. August 1st practice, like I said, the O-line was a mess. The right side had issues. Titus Howard had to sit out because of an injury. And as you guys know, Titus Howard has been playing left guard. So what happened was Zach Fulton slid over to left guard, and Max Sharping played right guard. And I'm guessing that's where the problems really occurred. You had Max Sharping and Shantro Henderson on the right side, and I just don't think Max Sharping is ready. And Shantro Henderson, he's Shantro Henderson. Let's be real here. And then you also have Nick Martin, our center, who hasn't practiced at all during training camp. So that's an even bigger issue. Is his injury serious? Is he going to be okay? When is he going to be back? Because we do not want Greg Manx out there. We do not want Max Sharping and Shantro Henderson out there. Imagine having Greg Manx, Shantro Henderson, and Max Sharping. Oh my God. Poor Watson, man. Poor Watson. If the Texans go with that due to injuries, that would be worrisome. But, not all is bad on the O-line. Because apparently, Matt Khalil, the guy I hate, the guy I make fun of all the time, apparently he's been doing good. Actually good. Good in the run game, good in the pass game. Now, you know me. I'm not this overly positive guy. I usually like to keep things reasonable, be realistic, I guess you could say. Now, yes, he's doing good, but keep in mind, Jadeveon Clowney is not out there. Shantro Henderson goes against J.J. Watt every single practice. Matt Khalil, he don't go against J.J. Watt. He don't go against Clowney. I'm not even sure if he goes against Merciless. Or if he even goes against Merciless, repeatedly. Because I have heard he does go against Merciless sometimes. But I also heard that Brennan Scarlett was taking most of the reps in place of Clowney. So, yeah, big difference between Brennan Scarlett and Clowney and Watt, So don't get your hopes all the way up. But I will say this. Titus Howard. I dropped that video being pissed about Titus Howard when we drafted him. Or not at Titus Howard, but at the Texans for drafting Titus Howard. Apparently he's doing very good at left guard. Now, I'm going to say this. I like to keep realistic expectations. Last year at the left guard spot, Sunil Kelemeti allowed about 10 sacks. I wouldn't expect Titus Howard to cut that number down to 1, or anything like that. I'll be reasonable. He's probably going to allow 8 or 7 sacks. And that's fine, he's a first-year offensive lineman. He's learning. And personally, I feel like Titus Howard will have a bigger impact in the run game rather than in the passing game and allowing less sacks. I think his presence will be felt more in the run game. Because if you go back to last year, take a look at our starting offensive lineman from last year. Julian Davenport couldn't run block for anything, couldn't really do anything. Sunil Kilamedi really couldn't do anything. Nick Martin can only pass block, couldn't run block. Zach Fulton, really good pass blocker, cannot run block. And then Kendall Lamb, can't run block. Titus Howard can actually run block. And, apparently Matt Khalil can run block as well. So, maybe there's something there. Maybe Matt Khalil can allow 9 sacks, which would actually be 7 less sacks than the left tackle position allowed last year. So, it's not going to happen overnight, guys. The offensive line is not going to get, good overnight. We're not going to go from 63 sacks allowed in a season to 1 sack allowed. But it's just not going to happen. We're going to have to slowly chip away at that number. So, if Matt Khalil allows 7 less sacks at the left tackle position and Titus Howard allows 3 less sacks at the left guard position, that's 10 less sacks. That brings the number down to 53. And let's say Deshaun Watson, he himself cost 14 sacks last year. Let's say he brings that number down to 8. That's 17 less sacks than last year. You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone is going to have to do their part. I don't think this offensive line is going to be good next year. I'm not even sure if it's going to be average. But I do think it's going to be better than last year's line. But like I said, it's a process. It's going to take a while. Now, if the Texans want to, speed up the process, you go trade for Trent Williams. What does trading for Trent Williams do? Well, like I said, the left tackle spot allows 16 sacks. You go bring in Trent Williams. That number goes down to like 2. Easily. And, he provides help in the run game. He can help out your young offensive linemen. And, he'd just be a good person to have. Now, the next thing I want to address is what Bill O'Brien said a couple days ago. He said the backup running back spot was up for grabs. That's a little bit concerning, man, because I'm a Foreman fan. I was on the Foreman hype train, and I felt like, with that comment, Bill O'Brien just kind of burst in my bubble. We'll just have to wait to preseason to find out how Foreman actually is doing, how he's looking. I know there was like a video clip out there of Foreman doing terrible in pass protection, and in my opinion, that's fine because Foreman has never really been a running back that could pass protect, so that's not anything new to me. So hopefully Bill O'Brien was just in a bad mood that day, and hopefully he didn't really actually mean that this backup running back spot was up for grabs, because if it is, then we might be in trouble at the running back position. We really need Foreman to come through for us this year. But yeah, that's all I really have for you guys for today. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.